The Idaten Deities Know Only Peace is a dark fantasy action manga written by Amahara and illustrated by the author of Peach Boy Riverside. An anime adaptation from Studio Mappa, known most recently for their work on Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan, will be premiering on July 23rd. This review will cover my thoughts on the first volume of the manga, which consists of the first 7 chapters. The story takes place in a world where 800 years ago, humanity was on the verge of extinction at the hands of powerful demons, but was saved by the fighting gods known as Idaten. The manga follows the lives of the newest generation of Idaten and the sole survivor who helped fight the demons long ago. The first volume of Idaten Deities is kind of hard to talk about without getting into spoilers, but I'll try to provide a brief summary before talking about the characters and other aspects of the manga. One of the younger Idaten, Hayato, has been training with his master Rin for years to become strong enough to defeat the demons in the event they show up again. One day after training, Hayato decides to go hang out with his friends Easily and Paula. The youngest Idaten, Paula, has the ability to talk to birds and learns that some humans are gathered in an area that is usually uninhabited. Hayato and his friends decide to check it out and then soon come face to face with a low-level demon known as Gyudoken. After the demon is defeated, Paula and Easily decide to go train with Rin in order to increase their chances of survival in case more demons show up. The first chapter introduces the main cast of characters as well as a minor antagonist named Dr. Obami who works for the Zabul military. The author establishes a small mystery surrounding Dr. Obami early on that even after the reveal still leaves a couple of questions. There isn't anything particularly memorable about the character itself, but the character design was nice and simple. Dr. Obami has very rough features, a sharp pointy nose, sharp teeth, and a square chin. As for the main characters, they almost fit certain shonen character archetypes. Hayato's the cool guy character who's always walking around either with his hands in his pockets or behind his head. He's mostly laid back but also rude to others outside of his small circle of friends. Hayato's carefree attitude and confidence while fighting are 2 qualities that I liked about the character. Besides wanting to surpass Rin, he really just wants to go have fun with Paula and Easily. Easily is the typical nerdy and tech-savvy character. He has a natural curiosity when it comes to just about anything, and he's always looking for the logic behind things. Easily would much rather spend his time with his nose in a book than fighting and is fascinated by human creations. This character loves to talk about stuff that intrigues him, and the author uses this trait to deliver a lot of exposition in chapter 5. Fortunately, the manga isn't bogged down by information dumps in the other chapters, and usually explanations only consist of a few panels. There isn't much to say about Paula. She is gentle and friendly. Compared to Easily and Hayato, she is much weaker and comes across as naive and innocent. Due to her lack of training, Paula is very fragile. Rin is the strongest Idaten and the last of the old guard. She is only concerned with her duties as a Idaten and is usually quite stern. Rin is merciless when it comes to training Hayato and his friends. She might be one of the most brutal mentor characters ever conceived. In chapter 4, she beats up Hayato for 3 whole pages. There isn't a lot of fighting in volume 1. Chapters 2 and 3 have the most action as they were still fighting against Gyudoken. However, there's a lot of physical comedy between Rin and Hayato. In general, there are plenty of funny moments sprinkled throughout the manga, even as the characters train with Rin. Judging off of what I've read so far, the series might have a nice blend of action and comedy. Considering how powerful the main cast is, the fights in the anime have the potential to outdo Dragon Ball Z. That's assuming Mappa nails the animation. I brought up Dragon Ball Z because the Idaten are basically at the power level of characters like Goku and Vegeta. The Idaten may look like mere humans, but they have supernatural power and speed. For context, they can move at speeds approaching or exceeding Mach speed, or kick at the speed of sound to create a shockwave powerful enough to destroy a tank. These are just a couple of things that they can do at a low level without any fighting experience. The way in which Idaten approach training and how they view strength is unique. Without getting into spoilers, strength is more of a culmination of endurance and speed for Idaten. Amahara's depiction of gods and the role they play in preserving human life is unique and creative. I like how he incorporates prayer into the Idaten lore. The last couple of chapters focus on the Zabal Empire and introduces a new antagonist, General Paisara. The manga seemed like a nice, lighthearted shonen action series up until chapter 6, in which things take a very dark turn. Amahara does an excellent job depicting the Zabal army as immoral, warmongering savages. I can't say much about General Paisara without getting into spoilers. What I can say is that she's willing to indulge the greediness and depravity of the men that she leads. The conclusion to Volume 1 is good, but not in a fun and exciting sort of way. This volume leaves a strong impression by the way it ends, and made me eager to reread everything again to fully take everything in. I'll be shocked if they decide to show what happens at the church in the anime without heavy censorship. Depending on how they handle it, the scene might be very controversial and could spark outrage on Twitter the day that the scene airs in the anime. I just hope that they don't cut the entire scene. The story moves at a decent pace and it really only slowed down during chapter 5, which is basically a mix of comedy and exposition. With the exception of chapter 1, most chapters are short, between 17 to 25 pages long. The illustrator makes good use of the space on the page and the panels were well organized. I was able to accurately follow the actions characters took during the fighting and training portions. There are a few panels where Hayato's attacking the demon that could be big moments depending on how well MAPPA animates it. One of these moments may or may not be a JoJo reference. In general, I think the art is great and I like the character designs. The most glaring issue I saw throughout Volume 1 was the very flawed translated dialogue. At the time of me recording this video, this book has not been published in English and an official translation has not been made available. There were many points where I felt that the dialogue could have been worded in a way that would make it flow a lot better. The translator is very inconsistent when it comes to adding hyphens, periods, and exclamation points. Some lines could have used punctuation to signal pauses, sudden interruptions during speech, and help indicate emotion outside of a character's expression. I noticed a plethora of mistakes that range from grammatical errors or misspelled names. The translator left a couple of Japanese words or phrases in, and there were several bad lines of dialogue in chapter 2. It seems like they didn't proofread some of the dialogue, or in some cases, they didn't consider what made sense in the context of whatever is going on in a certain panel. Despite the quality of the translation, I still enjoyed reading the first volume of Idaten Deities. I would recommend reading an official translation whenever one is made available. Definitely check this out if you're looking for a more adult action comedy series that still has the action shonen feel to it. If you read this manga, let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. And as always, if there's an anime or manga that you would like for me to do a review or a first impressions on, consider becoming a patron, donating via the PayPal link in the description, or becoming a member of the channel. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here. Peace.